President Adama Barrow on Monday addressed the 57th ECOWAS Ordinary Session in Nigerian capital Niamey, where he requested the extension of the mandate of a West African intervention force in the Gambia. The day-long summit focused on the political, economic, and health challenges confronting the sub-region. Omar Toure has more.
President Adama Barrow has requested for an extension of the mandate of West African forces in the Gambia, saying the country's democracy was fragile and needed protection. Barrow told the 57th Ordinary Session of ECOWAS held on Monday in Niger, where leaders discussed political and security issues, that Gambia's security sector reform process remains sensitive.
Given the reforms underway and the need to protect the fragile democracy in the Gambia, I avail myself this privilege to request for the extension of the mandate of Ecomig in the Gambia. It should be noted that our security sector reform is at an advanced stage, and for the first time, an audit exercise has been conducted in the Army and a policy developed.
The Gambian leader further stated that the previous government had molded the security apparatus of the Gambia to serve as a repressive mechanism. Barrow said a range of uncertainties, including right sizing and profiling the armed forces, matters of disarmament, and demobilization of troops remain complicated. The Gambian leader said the extension of the Ecomig mandate will be a stabilizing factor and will provide the required capacity building support for the viable implementation of the security sector reforms. The West African forces helped enforce Adama Barrow's election in 2016 after former President Yahya Jammeh refused to step down. Their mandate has been extended several times since the first in June 2017. ECOWAS leaders met in person for the first time since the coronavirus outbreak on West Africa to discuss political, economic, and health issues affecting the sub-region. They also elected Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo as the bloc's new chairman and appealed for a swift transition to civilian rule in Mali, following the August 18 military coup. Speaking on the situation in Mali, President Adama Barrow said there is a need to foster a lasting solution to the political crisis in that country. The Gambian leader is returning to Banjul tomorrow afternoon. For Africa TV, Omar Ahmad Toure.
From that report by Omar Toure, joining us on the line is Said Mati Jao, a political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia. Mr. Jao, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
President Barrow told ECOWAS today that the mandate of Ecomig forces needed an extension because the country's democracy was fragile and needed protection after 3 years. How significant has Ecomig been in Gambia's stabilization process following the 2017 political impasse?
I mean, I think the role of Ecomig cannot be overemphasized. They have played a very vital role in ensuring that the views and what the people wanted in 2016 was restored. And since then they have been jointly supporting the Gambian security services, particularly the military, in joint patrols, but also ensuring that there is security and transparency, and most importantly, providing security to President Barrow. And so since 2017, their role has been really significant, and I think they've also supported. Especially the Ghanaian contingent have supported in the healthcare system, and those are all commendable initiatives.
Ecomig's mandate has been extended several times now. How long do you think the Gambia will need outside forces to maintain its peace and security?
Well, for me, I think what ECOWAS or Ecomig need right now is to draw an exit plan, because, of course, the longevity of foreign troops will, in the long run, begin to raise questions that our government is not yet answering or trying to even entertain. And so for me, personally, I feel our security services are ready to take over from where Ecomig has stopped. But in fact, they have not been left in the discussion. So for me, basically, Ecomig needs to start drawing an exit plan, and perhaps this would be the last extension if it goes through.
So, Barrow said a range of uncertainties, including right-sizing and profiling the armed forces, matters of disarmament and demobilization of troops remain complicated. Would you say the Gambian army is still as politicized as it was under Jammeh?
Well, I disagree with the fact that that this current government has politicized the issue of security sector reform to an extent that you don't even know what is there. I mean, this is 3 years when we're talking about security sector reform. Is 3 years, and there's nothing that Barra's government can solve for that. So the fragility and all these issues that he has raised is his own doing, because basically what is required in the security sector right now is political leadership. And so far in the SSR process, there is less political leadership, and so that's why it is taken. For me, I don't think the security service, especially the military, needs to take that long to reform them. And when we talk about security sector reform, we're not talking about cutting down only. That is one aspect of it. But the broader aspect is, what is the vision of the country? What kind of a security installation? What kind of security institutions do we want to have? And that has to come from the political leadership. And so far, nothing tangible is coming from that. Of course, there is a national security policy, national security strategy, but then what makes those documents moving is the political will of the government. And so far, we are seeing those things missing. Therefore, the fragility is Barrow's doing. And today, if he assumes his role as the commander-in-chief, I am sure these issues will go away soon.
Thank you so much. That was said Mati
Thank you
Jawa,
for
a
having me.
political science lecturer at the University of the Gambia.